Hi everybody, this is Donya and this is Papa, and we are out traveling today. I wanted to introduce you to the very first episode of the Freedom Shift. So when I got off the truck, I had kind of promised to myself that I would definitely keep traveling. However, I'm not able to do that full time right now, so I thought I would just take some day trips, something that's like 2 to 3 hours down the road, something that I can do or you could do in a day and make it back in time before it even gets dark. So today, me and Papa and Olive Oil decided to hit the road. And yes, today we are headed to Nacogdoches, Texas. And look who's back. Olive Oil is glad to be back on the road again. What fun it is. Oh, and we had to stop by Fit Family Nutrition to get my drink. Bad to bougie. Oh, Olive, let's go. Back to Papa. Papa sure has missed the road. He loves looking out the window, and he was able to do that today. I was so glad that we were able to go to this destination called Millard's Crossing. They are pet friendly, and Papa thoroughly enjoyed it, and so did I. It was absolutely a beautiful day. So today we hit the road, and that's where we're headed. Millard's Crossing Historic Village is a beautifully preserved slice of East Texas history. It's tucked away in Nacogdoches, one of the oldest towns in the state. Sometimes the best destinations are the ones that feel like you're stepping back in time. As I turned onto this quiet little road in Nacogdoches, Texas, and drove under the white arches that read Millard's Crossing, I knew this just wasn't a stop. It was going to be a stop in a different era. Millard's Crossing Historic Village is lovingly preserved, collected by 19th century buildings nestled along the giant oaks. It's a very peaceful place, a little magical, and just what I needed for today's Freedom Shift adventure. Each building here has a story. Some were brought in from nearby towns, lovingly restored and given a new second life. There's also an old schoolhouse here, a barn, and a general store where you can almost hear the bell ring over the door and smell molasses candy on the counter. As we continue to walk through this first home, we meet with beautiful furniture, each piece standing with quiet dignity. From handcrafted tables to gracefully aged chairs, it's like the room is still holding space for the families who once called this place home. The fireplace mantel is simple but full of grace, framing the hearth with the quiet charm, and the beautiful flowers resting on top. They add just the right touch of life, color, and care, like the gentle nod of a woman who once kept this house a home. An arc of the bricks, stamped with stars, feels like a quiet tribute, each imprint a reminder that even the smallest details can carry a piece of history. Standing tall and vibrant, the purple crepe myrtle feels like nature's way of smiling. Its blooms burst with color, softening the edges of history with every petal, proof that beauty always finds a way to bloom. The log cabin is one of the oldest structures on site. As I walked up, I imagined the creak of wooden floors beneath the heavy boots. The kind of place where supper was cooked over the fire and folks swapped stories on the porch while cicadas sang in the background. The ladies' bonnets hanging so perfectly with the dried flowers surrounding them. I look at the stone chimney built by hand. The craftsmanship tells you this is the place that was built to stand. It was built to live in, to raise babies in, to weather storms and Sunday dinners. The trees are absolutely beautiful here, and the rock fireplace stands as the soul of the log cabin, a centerpiece built stone by stone, just like the lives that gathered around it. You can almost feel the warmth that once danced in its flames, filling the room on a chilly East Texas night. The living room in this old log cabin feels like you're stepping back in time, like a capsule full of comfort. It's simple, sturdy wooden chairs, a hand-woven rug, and a hearth that was once kept more than just the house warm. This was the heart of the home, where families gathered close, not around screens, but around stories, around scripture, and the crackle of the fire. In the children's room, 2 dolls rest gently on the bed, while a charming dollhouse waits. It waits nearby for little hands and big imaginations. And tucked in close, the sweetest little dolls made from corn husk. Simple, homemade treasures that speak love, creativity, and a childhood rooted in wonder. This wooden canopy bed feels like something out of a storybook, tall, carved, and full of grace. It was more than a place to sleep. It was a symbol of comfort and care in a world that worked hard. Draped in handmade quilts and surrounded by quiet simplicity, it held dreams, whispered prayers, and the stillness of a day well lived. And this unique rocker was made for two, a mother and her baby swaying together in rhythm. It's more than a chair. It's a quiet moment of bonding, of lullabies late night, prayers carved into wood and memory. The old desk held more than papers. It held purpose, a quiet place where letters were written, prayers were journaled, and dreams were sketched in ink and hope. The old hospital wheelchair, surrounded by warm medical books and supplies, tells the story of early care, when healing relied on steady hands, strong faith, and a deep commitment to serve. It's a quiet tribute to those who mended bodies and lifted spirits with what little they had. The woman's hats hanging on the wall each had a purpose, one for church, one for town, one for tending the garden. More than just fashion, they were a reflection of strength, grace, and the many roles a woman carried with pride. The blacksmith shop is where the muscle met metal, where sparks flew, not from drama, but from determination. Inside it smells of iron, ash, and grit. You can almost hear the clang of the hammer against the anvil. Inside this beautiful red and white home, we find delicate touches of life well loved, like the wooden book holder that spins with grace, holding treasured volumes just within reach. It's a quiet centerpiece in a room filled with warmth, history, and the kind of charm only time can give. The walls are filled with photographs and letters, silent witnesses to lives well lived, love well kept, and memories carefully preserved. And that chest on the table, it's more than just storage. It's a keeper of secrets, Sunday dresses, and stories tucked away for the next generation to find. The sunroom, dressed in white wicker and washed in soft light, feels like the gentle exhale. It's the kind of space where mornings begin with coffee and quiet. We find a staircase that Papa wasn't too sure about. He stood at the bottom, looking up like they were Mount Everest. He gave me that little side eye he does when he's thinking. "You've got to be kidding me," he said. I had to give him a little pep talk. Just a gentle nudge and a lot of encouragement. Eventually, with a deep breath and determined wiggle, he braved his way up to the careful step at a time. And let me tell you, the victory strut at the top was pure Papa. Now, as we made our way to the top of the stairs, there were all different kinds of things to see. This carriage that held at least 2 children, maybe more, was absolutely beautiful. And as we turned to go into the master bedroom, we see a beautiful rug, white wicker rocker, a beautiful armoire, the fireplace, and look at that baby bed. Of course, my eyes went straight to the baby bed, tucked nearby as a quiet reminder of family life, of midnight feedings, lullabies, and the love that lived under one roof, generation after generation. Now, as we walk our way into the children's room, I found this dollhouse, and I want it. What a beautiful children's room, full of charm and imagination. A big bed for the older child, and a smaller one nearby for the littlest dreamers. You can almost hear giggles, bedtime stories, and the creak of little footsteps after the lights are out. The kitchen was the heart of the home, and the huge metal stove was its anchor. Cast iron and full of purpose, it cooked countless meals with love and hard work. The little white church stands quietly, crowned with a steeple that reaches towards heaven. Inside, rows of wooden pews hold the weight of generations, of hymns sung, sermons preached, and prayers whispered in faith. It's simple, sacred, and full of peace only God's house can bring. As we step out of the little white church, there is a stillness that lingers, a peace that follows you like a quiet blessing, the kind that reminds you that faith isn't just inside the four walls, it walks with you when you leave. And as I opened the door to the church, it felt like stepping into sacred stillness, the creak of the hinges, the scent of the aged wood, the soft light pouring in. It was as if the building itself took a breath, ready to welcome hearts home. And right outside of the church is a little white gazebo that's pure charm, perfect for quiet moments, sweet conversation, and timeless memories. This pre-1920 caboose once marked the end of a train, but it was just the beginning of countless journeys, a rolling home for conductors and crews, filled with logbooks, lanterns, and stories from the rails. Step inside, and you can still feel the rhythm of the tracks and the call of the open railroad. Now once inside, the crow's nest is atop the caboose with the watchman's perch, where eyes scanned for rails for trouble or the journey ahead. It wasn't just a seat, it was the sentinel's post, offering the best view of the train and the front row seat to adventure. So Miller's Crossing isn't just a museum, it's a feeling. It's like your great-grandmother handed her your favorite quilt and said, "Sit down a spell, baby. Let me tell you how things used to be." And yes, even Olive will come along for the ride. She's kind of my official mascot, him, Papa. This visit reminded me that adventure doesn't always mean big cities and crowded spaces. Sometimes it's found in places where people took time to build life with their hands, their hearts, and their hope. So if you ever find yourself in Nacogdoches, come take a slow walk through Miller's Crossing. Bring your camera, your curiosity, and your sense of wonder. Trust me, it's still there, waiting for you. This is Donya, Papa, and Olive Oil, and this was your first taste of the Freedom Shift, where we trade hustle for history and discover that freedom lives in the simple, beautiful places. Follow for more adventures, stories, and backroad blessings. We're just getting started.